Oh, hi there. Guys, this is my friend Sarah. Now, Sarah has a very important lesson to teach us today. Can you see there's something different in the picture? On the right hand side of Sarah, she looks like a college going student, doesn't she? And on the left hand side of her, she looks like as though she's a businesswoman, she's out there in the corporate world working. This is what today's session is about. In today's lesson, we will understand campus to corporate English. It basically means how your language should change when you speak English at college to when you step into the corporate world. My name is Hridhaan. I welcome you to today's session. Without further ado, let's get started. What we're going to do is we're going to be looking at words that are informal, that students tend to use at college, and they do not realize that they take the same language to their offices as well once they graduate. And later we're going to be looking at how we can change those words. For example, this is the list of words that we're going to be looking at, from give up to ring up, and we will look at their replacements with some examples. So let's get started with the first one. Give up basically means that you don't want to do something. The better replacement of give up when you enter office is quit, that you do not want to do something anymore. For example, I quit as a department manager. Possibly you have you want to stop working as a department manager, so you end up saying I quit as a department manager. The next one is job, the work that you do. Now, when you enter college, it's fine when you say it's my job, it's my job. But when you enter corporate world, it's important for you to replace it with occupation, because that's how people will respect you and understand you better, and will start taking you seriously as well, for that matter. For example, my occupation is a linguist. I am a language expert, so my occupation is a linguist. My job is a linguist? My occupation is a linguist. Next one is live in the list. Now, the better replacement of live, which is the place where you stay or you've been staying all your life, is reside. This is the office language. This is the formal language that changes the entire game of your communication skills. So, for example, I reside in Mumbai. I reside in New York, instead of saying I live in New York. The next one is whole. Whole means something that includes everything, right? Can you guess what could be a better replacement? It is entire. Please repeat after me. Entire. For example, the entire plan is fantastic. If you're talking about a plan at office, you say the entire plan is fantastic. Blow up. The better one is explode. Something like, for example, a bomb blows up, or sometimes your plans explode as well. That means they fail. That's when you say explode. For example, my plan exploded. That means it was not successful. Mad. When you're angry, never use this word at office. You can replace it with insane. Insane is a little more, mad is a little more, as a matter of fact, a word with very high intensity. We don't use it. It is, as a matter of fact, offensive. It's fine if you say your friend is XYZ is mad. It's fine in that living room language. It's called the living room lingo. But it's not, we don't have to use that language at office. So you can say, well, you don't have to use it for your boss, but you can say the idea is insane. Possibly. Again, don't use it for a person. The next informal word that you can replace is put up. Put up basically means you're not able to cope with the person. So instead of saying put up, you can say tolerate. I'm not able to tolerate with the negative vibe of my office. So instead of that, if you're talking to your HR, talking about how uncomfortable you are, don't say I can't put up. You can say I can't tolerate. It's difficult to tolerate. The next one is anyway. Anyway is a very casual language. Instead of that, we can say nevertheless. One of my favorite ones on the list today. So instead of saying, I will be in the office anyway, instead of saying that, you can say, I will be in the office nevertheless. Possibly, and nevertheless is also used to talk about contrasting idea. For example, it will be 10 o'clock at night, but I will be in the office nevertheless. So instead of saying, I will be in the office anyway, changes to nevertheless. The last one on the list for today on this slide is ring up. Call changes to call. Make sure ring up is again very friendly lingo. Friendly, that is used with your friends. So not a ring up. I'm going to call you. Then this was about the first list that we have of the words that we can change from informal college language to formal office language. Let's move to the next list. The next one on the list is set up. Changes to establish. For example, you're talking about setting up a plan, setting up a brand, setting up an idea. You say, I want to establish a brand. I want to establish an idea, but not set up. Show up, that means to arrive somewhere, etc., right? Changes to arrive. It's not, okay, I'm going to show up at 10 o'clock in the morning. Very casual language, good for office, but good for college, but not for office. So you say, I'm going to arrive at 10 o'clock in the morning. Stand for basically is used to talk about what you support. Instead of that, you say represent. For example, I stand for ethical practices. I stand for professionalism. That means I really like professional behavior at a workplace. I don't like casual behavior. I don't stand for, I represent professional behavior. Buy, to purchase something, changes to purchase. Buy is again being casual. I purchased a BMW recently instead of I bought a BMW recently. Drop in is visit. Drop in is basically a casual visit in one's cabin, one's office. So instead of I'm going to be dropping in your office in the afternoon, you can say I'm going to be making a visit to your office in the afternoon or your cabin. Wrong, very blunt way of saying something that is not right. Changes to incorrect. I think this idea is slightly incorrect. Instead of I think this idea is wrong, bluntly just proclaiming that it's wrong. And the next one is so confusing for a lot of people. I call up in HR and the person says, so Hridhaan, where do you put up? Everybody in the country thinks that it's a fashionable way of saying where do you live. But it does not mean where do you live. Put up is basically used for soldiers. When they are at the war sites, what do? They put up tents. But as civilians, what do? We live in houses of concrete and bricks, isn't it? So do we put up tents everywhere like gypsies? We do not put up. We live again, or we live is again informal. So what was the better version? Reside. Again, never use put up, please. I reside in Mumbai. Empty changes to vacant. Oh, the bowl is empty. Instead of that, you can say the bowl is vacant. And finally, the last word on the list for today is let, which is making others do whatever they want, is permit. Allowing them to do it is permit. I can't let you do that. Changes to I can't permit you to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a very interesting lesson of the replacement of certain words that you have in daily life which come from college. And it's important for us to change them the moment we enter the professional world. I hope you make use of all of these words and sentences in your daily life. For more lessons, watch these videos on my right hand side and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I'll see you soon in the next lesson. Bye-bye.